Terry, North Carolina, number 1, Justin McCoy.
What's up, everyone? How are you all doing? I have returned for yet another video, and once again, it's another recap of the University of Hawaiʻi men's basketball season. And this past game was against the Nevada Wolfpack, an old Western Athletic Conference rival. Now they're in the Mountain West. And before I get underway with this, just remember, subscribe if you haven't. I got my channel remonetized on December 1st, and I want to be able to keep it this time. And the only way I can do that is with your help, is if you hit the subscribe button down below. So, unfortunately, this ended in a first loss for the University of Hawaiʻi at home. Second loss if you count the exhibition matchup against St. Mary's. And unfortunately, as you're seeing on a graphic here, the University of Hawaiʻi fell to the Nevada Wolfpack 72-66. I've given you the final score, so let's get started. All right, UH versus Nevada. That was a nice throwback matchup. Unfortunately for the University of Hawaiʻi, as I said earlier, it ended in a loss. Now, if you recall in my prediction video, I had put UH as 5-point underdogs. And as you saw in that graphic earlier, UH lost by 6. And unfortunately for UH, this was a game that they could have and should have won, especially since this is a team that they have defeated multiple times, especially going back to the WAC days with Riley Wallace and with Eran Ganot as a coach assistant, or should I say assistant coach. But anyway, as far as I'm going to go right to the grade already. As far as what I saw, this team has got a lot of resilience. They know how to come back from big gaps. Unfortunately, this 8-point hole they found themselves in proved to be a little too much because Nevada made some field goals that was enough to deter UH's comeback. They managed to tie the score twice, but they were unable to get in front. And as far as a grade goes, I probably would give them a B for this game because, yeah, they have a lot of resilience. They've proven they can come back. But as far as getting over the hump is concerned, they couldn't do that, which is unfortunate. And Ganot was proud of the effort, and I myself was proud of the effort too, because this team really showed me something that they are ready for conference play. And here's what Noel Coleman had to say about whether or not he's ready to go and feel like he's answered every question in the book.
Yes and no. There's still a lot of work to do as a team, cleaning up those little mistakes in crucial times. So, like I mentioned before, it's good to see where we're at, but it's not where we want to be at.
I'll tell you, if Noel led the way with 17 along with Bernardo to Silva, unfortunately, those two are the only guys who cracked double digits at 17 apiece. The next closest, Justin McCoy and Matthew Cotton with 8. Now, I will say, though, 3-point shooting was a huge problem, maybe next to free throws. And I know I brought that up in the last presser against HPU. Hawaiʻi shot 40% at the free throw line. Against Nevada, they did somewhat better at 69%, but they were 25 for 36, including missing 9 free throws in the second half, as opposed to only 2 from Nevada.
Sometimes you don't want to outsmart yourself. We're going to put in work. We combine. And why? Because, to be honest, why we've been good over the years, 73, 74% right there. And going to the last, we rep it. You don't always get to shoot 50, 100 free throws in a game. You don't get fouled and shoot 100.
And I thought free throws were a big discrepancy, and so was three-point shooting, like I said. How many threes did UH make? 3. How many triples did Nevada make? 3. But here's the thing. They were all in the first half. No one hit a 3 in the second half. And that took me by surprise because notoriously, the University of Hawaiʻi has been very good from the three-point range. And from what I've seen in the last couple of seasons, they've been known to hit between 7 and 10 threes a game. Maybe a little bit under that, but Sunday night was only 3. So I thought that was kind of a sad statistic, if you know what I mean. But because you give 2 triples back, UH would be taking this game to overtime. Unfortunately, they had only one chance to win in the waning seconds, but Jovan McClanahan committed a costly double dribble with a few seconds remaining, and that sealed their fate. But that was a big surprise because McClanahan, from three-point range, he didn't even get to take a three-pointer. Maybe save for the one at the buzzer. And that took me by surprise because Matthew Cotton had 2 triples. He led everyone, including Nevada, because Nevada had only one guy hit a 3, had 3 guys hit a triple each, in other words, or I should say. But anyway, but you look at the three-point shooting on this graphic over here. For 3 points, for three-point shooting for UH, that was pretty woeful. I mean, Justin McCoy 0 for 3, Harry Ruliadeff 0 for 3, Noel Coleman 0 for 4, Matthew Cotton 2 for 5. Does that look like a problem to you? Because if it doesn't, I don't know what you consider to be bad three-point shooting. Because really, that could have made the difference. But like I said, you give UH 2 triples in the second half. They were 0 for 4 in the second half. Whereas in contrast, Nevada, they were 0 for 7 overall. And if that's not bad three-point shooting, I don't know what is. But as far as free throws go, the only one who really had a bad night for free throw shooting was Bernardo da Silva. He was 3 for 8. But the problem was nobody really hit a consistent 2 for 2. Multiple times, I mean, at least in the second half anyway. And I thought that really hurt the University of Hawaiʻi. Maybe next to the three-point shooting. But that's why I definitely would put free throws as the biggest problem next to the three-point shooting. Because really, they knew how to come back. They knew how to get back in the game from their layups. But still, the fact that they had trouble controlling the ball, after 4 turnovers in the first half, they had 8 in the second half, which under regular circumstances would not necessarily be bad. But to total 12 to 8 turnovers overall for Nevada, 4 in the second half, after 4 in the first half. Yeah, that's a problem. I mean, and they weren't really costly until the final 30 seconds where they had 2 turnovers in the final 30 seconds, like I said. But still, the fact remains, UH has got to do a better job at controlling the ball, at least in terms of clutch play. Because overall, for much of the 40 minutes, I thought they controlled the ball maybe 32 minutes of the time. Maybe 32 to 35. But other than that, they proved that they got resilience, but it's hard to come back off it's hard to win a game when you shoot under 70% at the free throw line, and especially when 5 guys on Nevada crack double digits. I talked about Jarod Lucas being a total pain in the butt for the University of Hawaiʻi. He was. He led Nevada with 16. Kenan Blackshear, I talked about him in my prediction video. He had 12. Nick Davidson, I talked about him as well. He had 11. I expected some big numbers from them, but UH did a pretty admirable job holding them to the number of points that they got. And I think Blackshear was their lead scorer on Nevada, and he was held to just 12. The other 2 guys who cracked double digits, K.J. Hymes and Tre Coleman, they both had 10 points. But give Nevada credit. I mean, they're a very athletic team. They definitely made UH work for it. But like I said earlier, this was a game that UH could have won and probably should have. But with bad 3-point shooting, bad free throw shooting, it's hard to get a win like that. It's hard to get a win with those kind of statistics. And I mentioned that earlier. Because 3-point shooting overall, 17% for the Bows, well, more like 18%, because they were technically 17.6%. And of course, I mentioned earlier, free throws, 69%, 69.4 to be exact. But anyway, Portland is next up for the Diamond Head Classic. And I think UH can win that game. The last time they faced off against them was about 5 years ago. And they held Portland in the second half to just 4 made field goals. Now, I'm going to bet money that they're going to make a lot more than 4 field goals in that second half, because Portland is a good team. I was looking at their roster, and what took me by surprise is the fact that they have a former Cal Poly player on their roster, and that's Ali Mami Karoma. And he's a grad transfer. He ended up leaving Cal Poly, and so did Brantley Stevenson for that matter. But I'm going to look for Cal Poly, Ali Mami Karoma to be one of the key players for Portland. And another guy that I was looking at their roster, at least in their backcourt anyway, Tyler Robertson, because the guy had cracked double figures in the last 5 games. That included 17 against Grand Canyon on December 9th. Okay? And another guy in their backcourt, Chris Austin. That guy had 17 against Wyoming on December 1st. And he's hit double figures in 4 of the last 5 games. And that 17 against Wyoming was his best performance of those 5 games. So I do think that we will defeat Portland, but I'm going to say UH is 6-point favorites in my book. If they can win by more than 6, more power to them. And Karoma, I was talking about him. He had 13 against North Dakota State and Wyoming. But if you look at what he did for Cal Poly, he could very well be just as big a pain in the butt to the University of Hawaiʻi. And, that took me by surprise a little bit, because I thought Karoma was going to finish his college basketball career at Cal Poly. Now, obviously, sorry, I was looking at the roster on the desktop that I have. But anyway, like I said, I'm putting UH as 6-point favorites in my book against Portland. And quite frankly, I would be happy if we just make it to the winner's bracket. Do I think we can repeat as Diamond Head Classic champs? I'd like to say yes, but it's going to take a lot of work. Last year we had a really scrap and claw, and we had a spurt, and we had an early spurt in the second half to turn back Wazoo, Washington State. And Pepperdine was a winnable game, and we were able to stave off a 20-3 run from them. But SMU was the big question mark. And we all know how that went down with that 3-point shot from Jovan McClanahan at the buzzer. Are we going to see something like that this season? I don't know. I want to say yes, but we'll have to see what happens. We haven't seen a McClanahan miracle as of late, not since Central Arkansas when he hit that 3 at the buzzer in the first half. But still, there's always that possibility. Now, as a last thing, as far as Bernardo de Silva is concerned, I happened to I was at the presser, and this is what he said about how he's done against the big fellas in the Hawaii basketball season so far.
I feel like it was a kind of a different challenge because they're, as you said, they're agile. So I feel like, it was just a bit different and just got to be more disciplined as far as like fouling. And yeah, it's got to be more solid.
And I'll tell you what, if 17 points tonight is not an indication that he's done his part, I don't know what to say to you. Because De Silva has proven to be a valuable asset to the front court. And there's not a doubt in my mind that Bernardo de Silva will leave behind a long-lasting legacy at the University of Hawaiʻi when this season is over. So, I know I said the same thing about Noel Coleman in his own right, but still, anytime you get to where the age, you have a quote unquote duty to do well and help yourself out. At least in my book, anyway. But still, the way everyone's playing, we've got conference play in the bag. Do I think we can win the series? I like to say yes, but it's going to take a lot. But with a senior backcourt, we've got a chance. As long as everybody has their shot, we've got a chance. So, anyway, guys, that's all for today. Now, the Portland is next. Georgia Tech and UMass will be on the second day, but it all depends on what happens there. Now, considering that, since this is 3 games in 2 days, or 3 games in 3 days, in 3 separate days, I should say, UH is going to have to come out with a lot of fuel in the tank. So, best of luck to UH. I hope we can repeat as Diamond Head Classic champs, but in reality, I'll just be happy if we make it to the winner's bracket. So for now, thanks for watching, and remember, subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, these recap videos. You will see some more shots from my B-roll that I took with my phone to end this video. So anyway, go Bows, and remember, thanks for watching, everyone, and subscribe if you haven't. I got my channel remonetized, as I said earlier, on December 1st, and I want to be able to keep it. And the only way I can do that is if you hit the subscribe button. So thanks, guys. Subscribe. I'll catch y'all later.
gentlemen, this round of applause for your University of Hawaiʻi Rainbow Warrior basketball team.